Hello all, in today's video we're going to talk about the new Augs that are dropping from the 24th year anniversary mission. I did it earlier and I was able to get the Acolyte Soothing one, and we're going to talk about this using it as an example. So we're going to go over a few things, everything you need to know about it, and hopefully people will understand. It was the Type 18 Augs, in my opinion, like when it was implemented, it was overly complicated, and I, if it was implemented a little bit clearer, I think it would have been much better. So these Augs, they're Type 18s. What does that mean? They only fit specific quest gear. So there are currently six different pieces of gear that have Type 18 slots. They're going to be four from the TBL expansion, which is going to be shoulders, feet, gloves, and ring. These have high requirements. And then as far as quests is concerned, you guys need to know World's Hunter, some explores or collects or quests or anything like that. So if you don't have them already, I would not suggest it. And on my warrior, I should be replacing them, but that's a time and a different video to go over that. Um, there's the Rallos earring and then the new cloak that just came out this expansion. Those are really good. I would certainly suggest you guys starting it if you haven't done so. The Rallos ear should be good for at least another two expansions, at least. The cloak, I think, is going to be good for another three, four expansions at least. So it would be solid investment in time. Because if you think about it, gear these days, every expansion pretty much is a reset. So it's not often that you have pieces of gear that will, you would keep through expansions. So it's good. So if you don't have any of those pieces, this is not going to immediately impact you, but because anniversary time is only a limited time, try and farm the ones that you would want so that you have it in the bank. And if you ever start the quest for these pieces, then at least you're one step ahead. So let's talk about the Augs. With the implementation of these, they added lore groups. What are lore groups? Basically, you cannot equip multiple items in the same lore group. So the new one, if you look, Whispering Selenelion Acolyte Warding, if you look at the TBL Type 18s, they're on the same lore group. So as an example, if you were wearing this Whispering Midnight and then you looted this Acolyte Soothing one of Selenelion, it would reject you. It would not let you equip both because they're in the same lore group. You would have to physically remove the Whispering one and then you'd be able to equip the Acolyte one. Just comparing the difference, the Whisper one is 2% versus the Alkalite is 3%. So assumptions is that the Alkalite ones of the Cerulean are going to be 1% better than the Whispering Midnight versions of TBL. Looking at like the TBL Type 19s, they're on different lore groups, so you could wear multiple if the focus of those Augs stack. Not all of them stack. So for soothing specifically, you're going to want to wear one and whichever highest percentage is. The TOV ones, you see they're on their own lore group, so you could wear multiple if they do stack. Okay, so again, just to summarize, if you have TBL Type 18 Augs, you're going to want to upgrade them to the ones that drop from the anniversary mission. All right, I pulled up Lucy here, so we're going to make some assumptions here, based off the data miners and things that were posted, that some of these focuses ones will be dropping in the chest. Um, as the mission goes and people start submitting the items, we'll know more. But let's just go over all of them, and if they do drop, great. If they don't, then we don't need to worry about it. First one here, Assault. This is a stat one. This was added already. It's going to be player made, so definitely not going to drop from the chest. Assaulting Ice. This one should be dropping from the chest. It's a melee proc not a bad thing. It is a DPS boost, but if it's anything like the older version, the TBL or TOV ones, the DPS boost is quite minor. So if you do use them, that's great. They do stack, so you could have up to four. So some classes like Beast Lords, Warriors, Bards have a button where you 100% proc rate. These make it decent. The best ones that you're going to want to have are going to be NOS Type 18, which is from the group anniversary mission, TOV Type 18, TOV Type 19, and TBL Type 19. Those are going to be the four that you'll want to use if you like Assaulting Ice. Attacker Augs. This is one of my favorite Augs in the game. This is going to increase your accuracy. Very few items in the games do increase it, so they do also stack. So you're going to want to have four of these. If you're a hybrid or a melee that swing your weapon often, this is a must have. Four best ones is going to be NOS one from the group mission that right now, the anniversary, TOV Type 18, TOV Type 19, and TBL Type 19, which are from raids. Casting Og, this is my favorite. This is my top pick for the anniversary mission. So real quick insight, the TBL casting ice, there were two different types, the casting fire and casting magic. Those had the restrictions that if you had the casting fire, the only way that had a chance to proc is if you cast a fire spell. The casting magic is the same thing. The only way it would proc is if you casted a magic spell. So very restricted. If you happen to cast ice or poison or disease, those augs would not be useful at all to you. In TOV, they learned from their mistake. Basically, they called it casting ice, and regardless of anything that you casted type, poison, disease, corruption, fire, magic, whatever, it would proc an ice proc, which is cool. That made a lot of sense. So now in the NOS, they added the casting on, so it does more damage than the TBL version. So you're definitely going to want to have up to four of these if you're a caster. Not many Augs improve caster DPS. So if you're a pure caster, wizard, mage, enchanter, magician, whatever, you definitely going to want it. Hybrids also, you're definitely going to want to have it. Um, More so on the pure casters though. So the four best ones are going to be NOS type 18 from the anniversary mission, TOV type 18, TOV type 19, and or depending on how often you cast the spells, TBL, fire or magic type 19. So if you cast fire often, like mages or wizards, you're gonna want to use that. Enchanters, the TBL ones also proc off a chromatic, which is our main nuke. So yeah, those are okay. But forecasting for sure if you use those often. Defending ice, I pray that this doesn't drop from the NOS chest, but if it does, it's garbage. Don't even touch it. It's caca. No, 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 no. Very bad. Like, don't even loot it. It serves no purpose other than clogging your inventory, in my opinion. Defense. Defense is on the same lore group as attacker, so you cannot have an attacker or a defense at the same time. Defense increases your soft AC cap, so if you're a tank and you like AC, this is going to boost you a little bit. I did some testing. If you're agility versus a stamina tank, the gains are different. So certainly test it out and see what makes more sense for you. Because sometimes just a pure stat aug might add more. So the defense one, question mark, if it's beneficial to your character, it depends on your gear and your stats. You can have up to four. So if this is something you're choosing, the best ones are going to be NOS one from the group mission, type TOV type 18, TOV type 19, and TBL type 19. You can have up to four that stack together. At least, yeah. Dorsal defense. This is going to be mitigation if you get from behind. Personally, I'm not a fan of getting touched from behind. Some people may like it. More power to you. It does not stack. So You can only have one, so pick whichever one has the higher percentage. Enhancement. This is a pure stat one that did not make the player made list. Um, question mark on if it drops from the NOS mission. We'll know soon. Uh, Stats, in my opinion, they're great. But in like 2 or 3 expansions, if the game's still going on, it's probably going to be irrelevant. All of us are going to be using balanced Type 5 Augs and things like that because we're going to be over the 4K mark. So unless they increase or change the way stats work for the Mod 3s, stats may not be as important in the future. But certainly, if it does drop, loot it so you have it. Fortification is a stat aug already added, so it's just player made. Protecting ice is gonna fall under like defending ice. Ah, um, I wouldn't touch it. It's garbage. Soothing, incoming heals. I personally like it. Some people don't need it if they're a melee class and things like that. They prefer DPS stuff. Certainly, pick one, whichever the highest. They do not stack. Stealth and strategy are stat augs already player made. They're in game. Vengeful defense, I'm a fan of this. This is getting hit from the front mitigation. They do not stack, so you're going to pick whichever one has the highest percentage if you're a tank or you get hit from the front often. Warding ice is crappy. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't loot it. There are better things for your spot since there's limits on how many augs you could have. All right, so that's my assumption and the list of the ones that I feel are important. So this mission only drops one at a time. So for all the potential ones, it might take you time to get all the ones that you want for you and your friends or guildmates or anything like that. So farm the mission. The mission is not that hard as you guys saw in the video. And hopefully this is useful and clear things up. If you need clarifications, just Discord message me. It's been pretty nice. I've been getting more and more Discord messages and people just asking me random things you know, and it's been helping out. And I think that's what this community needs more is communication, like just people willing to talk and teach each other the game and explain why they feel it, like um, what. So there you go, guys. That's the new logs, and good luck farming. Bye bye.